Centuries ago, humanity recklessly consumed Earth's resources, leading to war and collapse. The survivors, called Rusties, created a new energy source, the white tiger orchid, but conflict persisted. To eliminate division, society introduced the transformation. At 16, every citizen undergoes a procedure to become flawless. The goal? A world without discrimination. But those who hadn't transformed were labeled uglies and treated as inferior. Tally, a 15-year-old girl, eagerly awaits her transformation. She stares into her mirror, asking it to project her future self, beautiful and perfect. Her best friend, Paris, turns 16 tomorrow and will undergo the procedure first. They meet one last time on a rooftop, looking down at Pretty Town, where transformed citizens celebrate every night. Tally longs to join them, but Paris reminds her that her turn is coming soon. Despite her excitement, she worries about losing Paris. He admits he's scared he won't recognize himself after the surgery. She reassures him, joking that no matter how much they change, his nose and her squinty eyes will always be theirs. Before parting, Paris makes her promise to stay out of trouble and be ready for her transformation on September 9th. They agree to meet at the bridge in 1 month. The next day, Dr. Cable, the district governor, addresses students on the verge of transformation, calling it a fresh start, free from hate and inequality. Tally watches Paris leave, believing they'll reunite soon. But days pass, then weeks, and Paris never contacts her. The silence is unbearable. Desperate to see him, she sneaks out at night, hacking her ring to disable tracking. But when she reaches the bridge, Paris isn't there. Determined, she ventures into Pretty Town, slipping into a massive celebration. A partygoer hands her a mask, temporarily disguising her as one of them. She finally spots Paris, now flawless, golden-eyed, and unrecognizable. At first, he admires her disguise, but when she removes the mask, his excitement fades. He scolds her for breaking the rules and admits he didn't meet her at the bridge because things are different now. He assures her that once she transforms, she'll understand. Tally reminds him of their promise to always be best friends. But Paris, now distant, simply says, "Let's try again in 2 months, once you're pretty." Heartbroken, Tally realizes that becoming pretty might mean losing herself. Heartbroken, Tally notices something that shakes her to the core. Paris's scar is gone. The small mark that symbolized their friendship has been erased, as if it never existed. Before she can process the betrayal, alarms blare. Her presence has been detected. Drones close in as she flees. She grabbed a jump vest and leaped off the rooftop. The tech cushioned her fall, bouncing her up just in time. She sprinted toward the bridge, but the drones were too fast. Just as she thought she was trapped, a hoverboard zipped into view. "Get on," they say, "or we'll both get caught." Without hesitation, Tally jumps on and they speed away, barely escaping. Once safe, her rescuer grins. "That was insane. I thought you were gonna fall." Tally exhales. "So did I," she admits, laughing. The girl introduces herself as Shay, and a new friendship begins. That night, they talk for hours, realizing they share the same birthday. They make a pact to undergo their transformation together and start their new lives side by side. The next day, Shay teaches Tally to ride a hoverboard. Later in class, Shay receives a book, a real one, something Tally has only seen in history lessons. When she asks who it belongs to, Shay hesitates before changing the subject. Tally spent her days improving her hoverboarding skills and hacking her ring, but something about Shay seemed different. She didn't care about becoming pretty. Instead, she spoke of a place called The Smoke, where people lived freely. Tally dismissed it as a myth, but Shay insisted it was real. One night, she took Tally beyond the city to the Rusted Ruins, an abandoned amusement park, where she revealed she was leaving to join The Smoke. She begged Tally to come, but Tally refused. Before leaving, Shay gave her a secret code, just in case. The next day, on Tally's birthday, she expected her transformation. Instead, she was taken to Dr. Cable, a cold, calculating woman who made a shocking demand: find Shay or never become pretty. Tally refused and was sent back to her dorm to reconsider. That night, Paris appeared in her room. For a moment, it felt like nothing had changed. Tally told Paris everything about Shay, the smoke, and her impossible choice. Paris reminded her of their dreams, warning that without the operation, she'd be an outcast. His words lingered, and eventually, she agreed to speak to Dr. Cable again. This time, Dr. Cable revealed a secret. The smoke was developing a weapon. If they succeeded, they could destroy everything. Tally had to find them and stop them. Following Shay's code, Tally traveled across the wilderness, her hoverboard skimming over ancient ruins. She marveled at the untouched beauty of nature, but struggled through the grueling journey. Finally, she arrived at a vast field of orchids. Meanwhile, Paris met with the governor, who thanked him for convincing Tally to leave. Then she offered him something new, a second procedure, a mental upgrade. Without hesitation, he accepted. The old Paris was erased forever. Tally woke up gasping, surrounded by flames. A stranger, David, rescued her and quickly found a hidden tracker in her hoverboard, destroying it. But he missed her necklace. It was still broadcasting her location. David took her to a remote outpost where she reunited with Shay. Suspicious, Shay accused her of trying to drag her back to the city. Later, David revealed the truth. The city used the invasive orchids to control the land and force people into their system. To prove it, he showed Tally a wasteland destroyed by the plants. Then chaos erupted. A helicopter arrived, sending Shay plummeting into the fire. Tally didn't hesitate. She rushed in, saving her friend just before soldiers closed in. But Croy was suspicious. How had the city found them so fast? The smoke was no longer safe. They had to leave. That night, unable to sleep, Tally wrestles with guilt. Activating the necklace means getting her surgery and old life back, but after everything she's seen, she isn't sure what she wants. Morning comes, and they finally reach the smoke. Unlike the city, life here is real. People grow food, work together, and choose to be here. Exploring the settlement, Tally learns the Rusty-era tracks are being repurposed. She casually asks about weapons, but Croy catches her sneaking around, still suspicious. As days pass, she integrates into the community, but tension lingers. At dinner, David warns that soldiers are closing in. The city fears the smoke not just for their way of life, but because they prove happiness doesn't require the operation. Later, David teaches Tally to use a weapon. As they grow closer, he notices her blistered hands. She's never done hard labor. Instead of commenting, he gives her gloves. Before she can process his kindness, an injured girl arrives with a warning. The soldiers are enhanced. Shay sees the gloves and realizes David likes Tally. She presses her, will she stay or return to the city? David finally takes Tally to meet his parents, former surgeons who discovered the horrifying truth. The operation causes brain damage, erasing independent thought. Dr. Cable silenced their research, forcing them to flee. Their only weapon is a cure, but without a test subject, they're stuck. Tally can't take it anymore. She rips off her necklace and confesses everything. She was sent to betray them. But David only says, I trust who you've become. As they kiss, the necklace burns, but it's too late. At dawn, shadows descend. The city has found them. Chaos erupts as enhanced soldiers invade the smoke, faster and stronger than ever. Tally fights through the madness until she sees Paris, but something is wrong. His eyes are empty. His mind isn't his own. Meanwhile, David's parents confront Dr. Cable, demanding she let everyone go. But she isn't interested in negotiations. She wants one thing, David. He refuses. Cable gives the order. Paris pulls the trigger. David watches in horror as his father collapses. His mother lets out a strangled cry, but there's nothing she can do. Tally stands frozen, shaking. Paris wouldn't do this. The governor turns to Tally, smiling. Thank you for your cooperation. Across the battlefield, Shay realizes the truth. Her expression twists into betrayal. As fire consumes the lab, the smoke falls. David survives, but his fury is unbearable. He refuses to speak to Tally. It doesn't matter that she never meant for this to happen. The damage is done. But David refuses to give up. His people are still out there. He doesn't trust Tally, but he knows he needs her. She's the only one who understands the city. Together, they infiltrate the facility, unlocking cells and freeing prisoners. But Sai turns to Tally, fury in his eyes. "You're too late," he spits. Shay has already been operated on. When they find her, it's worse than Tally imagined. The fire in her eyes is gone. The defiance, the strength, the rebellion, erased. She smiles, empty. This is who I was always meant to be. Before Tally can process it, Paris and the governor appear. David, Maddie, and Tally are restrained. Dr. Cable leans in. "Thinking for yourself is dangerous," she whispers. "You won't be happy, but you'll be perfect." Then, boom! Sai bursts through the skylight, flamethrower in hand. The machines burn. The rescue begins. Paris wavers. Something flickers in him. A memory, a wound. But before Tally can reach him, he falls. They flee to the rusty ruins. Maddie holds up the missing cure. Shay smirks. "I'm already perfect." David suggests testing it on her anyway, but Maddie shakes her head. She has to choose to take it. Tally makes her choice. She'll go back. She'll let them operate. And afterward, they'll bring her back. Tally wakes in a pristine white room, the city humming outside. She moves to the mirror, staring at the stranger before her. Golden eyes, flawless skin. Perfect. The movie ends here. Hope you enjoy watching this video. Like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.